Hello, dear viewers who are watching the special weekend weather report on Mr. Tien channel. Today we will take a look at the sky over the United Kingdom in the coming days, where nature is preparing to stage a performance full of contrasts, powerful northern winds, biting cold air, and sudden showers. Low pressure moving slowly. The weather picture is changing. Yes, this weekend, a low pressure system is moving very slowly eastward. Although its movement is not fast, the impact it leaves behind is quite clear. Strong northerly winds will sweep in, bringing with them the distinctive chill of late autumn. The kind of air that makes your hands instinctively seek shelter in your pockets after just a few minutes outside. Gone are the mild, pleasant days of early October. This Saturday and Sunday could become the coldest days of the season so far. And although we are still far from winter, the feeling that the weather brings will certainly make many people exclaim, open quote, "Is it really this cold in October?" Close quote. Northerly winds arrive. The chill seeps through every street. In fact, having northerly winds at this time of year is not particularly unusual. But what draws our attention is the contrast between last week's mild, gloomy weather and this week's cold, dry, and bright conditions. The change is so obvious that you'll notice it the moment you open your window on Saturday morning. A stream of cold air quietly filling your home. In many areas, especially northern England and Scotland, morning temperatures may drop to 3 to 5 degrees Celsius, and even below freezing in the Highlands. The cold doesn't just come from the numbers on the thermometer. It's the wind that makes it feel even more biting, even when the sun is shining. The wind will be particularly strong in northern Scotland and along the North Sea coast. In some unsheltered areas, wind speeds could reach near gale force levels, strong enough to churn up rough seas, bend trees, and make pedestrians hunch over to keep their balance. Along with the wind, frequent showers are expected across the north and west. Northern Ireland, northern Scotland, Wales, and the southwest of England are forecast to see the most rain. Especially in the Northern Highlands, some showers may turn into snow, the first snowflakes of the season, signaling that winter is quietly knocking on the door. Of course, the snow won't be deep and won't cause significant impacts, but for those who love cold climates, it will be a wonderful sight. Seeing snow this early, while it's still October. Between the showers, the sky will be much brighter than it was last weekend. Remember last Saturday? Gloomy, gray, and so cloudy that the sun barely made an appearance? This time, the sky will open up, with sunshine, clouds, and dazzling light reflecting on the water's surface. That's the highlight of this weekend. Not only a change in weather, but also a change in our mood. After a long week, being able to enjoy a crisp, clear sky, even if it's cold, is truly refreshing. December and October feeling. The chill that bites through the wind. By Saturday afternoon, temperatures in many areas may hover around 8 to 11 degrees Celsius, but the real feel, once the wind chill is factored in, could drop to just 3 to 5 degrees Celsius. In other words, when you step outside, it'll feel more like a typical December day than an October one. The low pressure system will continue to drift eastward overnight from Saturday into Sunday. Meanwhile, high pressure from the west will start to expand, keeping the northerly winds around a bit longer. But then, as part of the familiar rhythm of the atmosphere, another low-pressure system will push in from the northwest, and by late Sunday, it will once again change the entire weather pattern. Sunday morning. The calm before the rain returns. Sunday morning could be the best part of the weekend. Dry skies, gentle sunshine, especially across central and eastern England. Scotland and the eastern regions will enjoy a golden morning, with sunlight breaking through the early mist, and shining on fields slowly turning brown as autumn fades away. But that beautiful scene won't last long. By lunchtime, clouds from the west will start to gather, bringing scattered showers, light at first, then heavier. Rain will spread from Northern Ireland to Scotland, then across western England and Wales. In the Scottish Highlands, snow may appear once again, light and thin, just enough to whiten the mountaintops. A damp and chilly Sunday afternoon? Signs of change ahead. By Sunday afternoon, the skies will turn gray again. Rain could linger in many places, keeping temperatures from reaching double digits. Anyone heading outdoors will feel the cold seeping through their clothes, especially since the northerly breeze will still be present. However, there's a silver lining. Temperatures will gradually rise slightly in the northwest as the new low-pressure system moves in. This signals that the upcoming week will bring more changeable weather. Wetter, more unsettled, with the northwest likely to remain the wettest part of the country. The weekend in summary. A symphony of shifting skies. Overall, this weekend will be a symphony of weather moods. Strong, biting northerly winds. Scattered showers mixed with brief moments of sunshine. A touch of early snow on distant mountain peaks. And golden mornings before the clouds and rain return. It's a typical October scene in the UK, as autumn quietly withdraws and winter begins to knock. For those with weekend plans, be well prepared. Warm coats, gloves, and scarves, all essential. If driving in highland or coastal areas, be cautious of strong winds and slippery roads. And don't forget, even in the cold, there are beautiful moments to savor, a golden sunrise, or the misty breath of autumn drifting through a quiet street corner. This weekend may not be peaceful, but it will certainly carry the romance of late autumn. As the northern winds whistle through the trees and the sun hides behind layers of gray clouds, you'll feel it. Nature is telling its own story, and we are merely the listeners, quietly enchanted. Stay warm, drive safely, and enjoy these fleeting moments as autumn slips quietly into winter. Hello everyone who is watching this news report. Europe, a land long known for its mild climate and peaceful rhythm of life, is now going through a period of chaotic weather. From the sunny Iberian Peninsula across the deep blue Mediterranean all the way to the cold northern regions of Scandinavia, the European sky seems more unstable than ever. But perhaps what has shocked the people of this entire continent the most over the past week are the violent tornadoes, something many used to believe rarely happened in Europe. Yes, you heard that right. France and the Netherlands have become the epicenters of unexpected tornadoes, causing serious damage and leaving thousands of people terrified. The tornado just north of Paris. Imagine this. A peaceful afternoon in the northern suburbs of Paris. Dark clouds suddenly rolling in from afar, the sky shifting from gray to pitch black. And in just a few minutes, a massive funnel-shaped vortex appeared, sweeping away everything in its path. Images and videos shared on social media left viewers in disbelief. The scene looked like something out of a Hollywood movie. Rooftops torn off, trees uprooted, cars overturned, and residents desperately seeking shelter amid the pouring rain. What's even scarier is that there were no warnings issued beforehand. No sirens, no emergency alerts, only the roar of the sky and the howling wind. That silence is a troubling reminder. Europe, once thought to be safe from such phenomena, is actually highly vulnerable. And the underlying cause lies in increasingly unpredictable atmospheric systems in the context of global climate change. Storm Benjamin, the one stirring up the European skies. And now, just as everyone is still shaken by the tornado in France, another storm is forming. The French Meteorological Agency has officially named it Storm Benjamin, a powerful extratropical cyclone. This morning, on radar images, Benjamin initially appeared as a thick cloud mass bringing scattered showers. But by afternoon, the system began to intensify rapidly as it approached the English Channel. Atmospheric pressure dropped sharply, and winds swirling around the storm's center became increasingly fierce. A fast-developing storm is forming, and forecast models all indicate that this is just the beginning of a large-scale weather disturbance spreading across Europe in the coming days. Storm Benjamin is expanding its reach. Tonight and tomorrow, many regions from the Iberian Peninsula, France, the UK, Belgium, and the Netherlands to Germany will experience strong gusts of wind, capable of causing significant damage. Meteorological agencies have simultaneously issued high-level wind warnings extending from Portugal and Spain all the way to the Balkans. Along the western and northern coasts of France, winds could reach over 120 kilometers per hour, strong enough to snap trees and tear off roofs. Meanwhile, heavy rains will pour across Central Europe, Italy, and the Balkans. Cities such as Rome, Munich, Vienna, and Zurich are all within the affected areas. Many meteorological experts warn that the risk of flash floods and urban flooding in the coming days is very high. Will Europe witness more tornadoes? A question that worries many people is, could tornadoes like those in France and the Netherlands happen again? The answer is absolutely possible. Storm Benjamin, with its complex atmospheric structure, creates many strong wind shear zones, the key ingredient for tornado formation. Experts are paying special attention to the region, stretching from northern France through Belgium and the Netherlands into western Germany. This is the red zone on the warning map, where there is a low but notable risk of additional tornadoes forming within the next 24 to 48 hours. Convective energy values are not too high, but the strong wind shear and temperature differences between atmospheric layers are enough to create dangerous air vortices similar to those earlier this week. Looking at the overall rainfall forecast through the weekend, we can see that nearly all of Europe will be covered by rain. The heaviest rainfall is expected in the Mediterranean region, where continuous thunderstorms could cause severe flooding. Across the Iberian Peninsula, France, Switzerland, Benelux, and Germany, rain will persist throughout the week, causing many rivers to rise. Some inland areas with steep terrain, such as southern France and central Italy, could face intense short-term downpours, leading to landslides and localized flooding. And as cold air masses from the Arctic move southward, snow begins to appear. Across Iceland, Norway, Sweden, and Finland, snow will fall heavily, marking the start of an early winter. Even higher elevations in Scotland, Switzerland, and Austria are forecast to see their first snowfalls of the season. On the other side of the Atlantic, Tropical Storm Melissa is strengthening. While Europe is grappling with Benjamin, across the Atlantic Ocean, another threat is emerging. It is Tropical Storm Melissa, officially named yesterday in the Caribbean Sea. Melissa is currently moving slowly, but weather models show that it has the potential to develop into a very strong storm. The U.S. National Hurricane Center has issued warnings for Haiti and Jamaica, while other Caribbean regions are being closely monitored. The forecast track for Melissa remains highly uncertain. Each model produces a different outcome. Some show it heading toward Cuba, while others suggest Melissa will move into the open Atlantic. Whichever path it takes, experts agree on one thing. Melissa is rapidly intensifying, and if this trend continues, it could become a major hurricane in the coming days. Dear viewers, in just a few short days, Europe has witnessed every face of climate chaos. Tornadoes in France and the Netherlands, damaging winds and heavy rains from Storm Benjamin, and beyond, a tropical storm growing stronger across the Atlantic. All of this reminds us that weather no longer follows the old rules. The warming of the oceans, shifts in polar jet streams, and disruptions in pressure patterns are causing extreme events to occur in places once considered safe. Therefore, if you are living in Europe or have loved ones there, stay tuned to weather reports, keep your information up to date, and prepare an emergency plan in advance. We will continue to closely monitor the developments of Storm Benjamin in Europe and Storm Melissa in the Caribbean to bring you the latest updates. Always remember, nature can change in the blink of an eye, and preparation is the key to safety. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to talk about, because the United Kingdom is entering an extremely interesting, highly changeable, and unpredictable weather phase, with low-pressure systems lurking off the Atlantic Ocean, ready to sweep in at any moment. This morning, you can clearly see the massive swirling cloud bands forming off the southwest coast of England. A low-pressure system is gradually strengthening, deeper than usual, and according to current forecast models, it will slowly move east or northeast, most likely crossing southern England within the next 48 hours. However, one remarkable thing: the uncertainty remains very high. Just a small change in the path of this low-pressure area, for example, shifting 100 kilometers north or 50 kilometers south, could completely alter the weather across central and southern England. If it tracks further south, we will experience extremely strong winds and heavy thunderstorms, but if it goes further north, many areas will only see light winds and scattered rain. According to the latest meteorological models, This low-pressure system is expected to bring heavy rain and strong winds to southern, central, and eastern parts of England. Some areas may record gusts reaching 80 to 90 kilometers per hour, especially in East Anglia and along the southeast coast. Rain will begin to spread on Thursday, then become more widespread and heavier on Friday. On major highways such as the M4, M5, and around London, slippery conditions and reduced visibility may occur. The UK Met Office has warned of possible localized flooding and advised people to limit long-distance travel during rush hours. As the low-pressure area moves north into the North Sea, a flow of cold Arctic air will begin to push southward. This cold air will cause temperatures to drop rapidly over the weekend, especially on Saturday and Sunday. In Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Northern England, rainfall is expected to turn to snow over high ground such as the Cairngorms and Ben Nevis. In lowland areas, daytime temperatures will only range between 6 to 9 degrees Celsius, and at night they are likely to drop below 0 degrees Celsius, producing light frost on the ground. Nevertheless, sunshine between showers will brighten the sky. Many places in central and southern England will enjoy those beautiful cold sunny intervals, the typical autumn scenery of England. Gentle sunlight, falling golden leaves, but a biting wind. According to the American GFS model, Sunday will remain cold but drier in many areas. Some parts of central and eastern England may enjoy a bright morning, but clouds will quickly return in the afternoon, bringing light showers from the northwest. By Monday, the wind direction will gradually shift to the west or southwest, cutting off the cold northerly flow. This means temperatures will start to recover slightly, but in return, rain will return to western coastal areas and the north. During the early nights of the week, patchy frost may still occur, especially in narrow valleys where skies are clear and winds are calm. However, widespread frost is unlikely to form, as winds remain strong and clouds change frequently. Here's the interesting part. Major forecast models, the GFS US and ECMWF Europe, are presenting very different scenarios. GFS predicts much stronger winds, with gusts exceeding 60 miles per hour, around 100 miles per hour across the southeast. Meanwhile, ECMWF shows winds of only 30 to 45 miles per hour, and the strongest winds are located farther away over the North Sea. This shows that just a slight deviation in the path of the low-pressure area can produce two completely different weather pictures. One with strong winds and heavy rain, and the other with just clouds and light breezes. Therefore, residents should keep up with short-term forecasts frequently, especially on Thursday and Friday. The 5-day accumulated rainfall chart shows a clear difference. GFS shows rain covering almost the entire UK and Scotland, while the European model suggests rainfall mainly in the southeast and Anglia. Under the GFS scenario, rainfall in western Scotland could reach up to 150 millimeters or more, while ECMWF only predicts around 70 millimeters. This means, if the GFS scenario is correct, the risk of minor flooding in the highlands of Scotland and Wales is real. By the end of the week, as the low-pressure system moves away, a high-pressure area from the south, specifically from the Iberian region and southwestern Europe, will begin to spread over the UK. This will help reduce the wind, stabilize the weather, and slightly increase temperatures to near seasonal averages. However, this high-pressure area is not strong and could be quickly disrupted by another wave of Atlantic disturbances. In other words, the UK may only enjoy 1 to 2 short, calm days before new low-pressure systems return in early November. According to the GFS 16-day trend, the second week will revert to the typical westerly pattern, bringing moist air and showers from the Atlantic Ocean. Average temperatures range from 11 to 15 degrees Celsius in the south, and 8 to 12 degrees Celsius in the north. Quite mild for early November. Charts show an increasing rainfall trend, especially from November 1st to 5, as moist frontal systems become active again. This means there is potential for 1 or 2 small storm systems, mainly affecting western and northern parts of the UK. Major cities. London, daytime temperatures will gradually rise from 11 to 13 degrees Celsius to around 15 degrees Celsius by the end of next week. Nights remain cold, 7 to 9 degrees Celsius, with light morning fog. Manchester, more humid air, showers mixed with sunshine. Temperatures stable around 10 to 12 degrees Celsius. Glasgow, colder, only 7 to 10 degrees Celsius, with a chance of light snow over higher ground and strong winds along northern coastal areas. Looking further ahead, toward Halloween in early November. If the models are correct, Halloween night, October 31st, could be relatively pleasant in southern England, dry, light winds and a cool autumn atmosphere. However, the north may still be affected by a trough of low pressure, bringing showers and strong winds. Immediately afterward, at the start of November, deep low-pressure systems from the Atlantic could return, marking the beginning of another spell of wet and windy days. The United Kingdom is entering a challenging transitional period, where each day brings a new surprise from the sky. You might step outside in soft golden sunlight this morning, but just a few hours later, gusty winds and showers could suddenly arrive. Therefore, always stay updated with short-term weather bulletins, prepare your windproof jacket, and don't forget to keep a positive mood, because amid those cold, rainy days, there are always peaceful moments when the English sky opens up with its deep blue beauty. We will continue to update storm and rainfall conditions in the next bulletins. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this report on the Mr. Tien channel. If you find this information helpful, don't forget to click like and subscribe to receive the latest weather forecasts. See you in our next broadcast, where we will continue to monitor whether the Atlantic low-pressure systems return even stronger next week. Goodbye, and wish you all a safe and warm week ahead.